Water Ambassador webinar series. This is a program brought to you by Martin County and UF-IFAS Extension. And the Water Ambassador program is a stormwater education course. And we have, due to COVID, we've switched to a webinar format, and it's actually done quite well. So I'm going to go over a little bit of housekeeping before we introduce our next speaker. So you get to that next slide here. There we go. So if you're not familiar with Zoom, if you've just logged on, you will be muted. We can unmute you later, but we ask that you stay muted. Also, it also helps while the presenter is giving his presentation. If you turn your video off, that helps with bandwidth issues. And so we can, the slide here shows how you can view the other participants by clicking on that participants icon there. Also, the most important thing is if you have any questions, you can ask your questions anytime during the presentation. We do ask you to type those into the chat, and we will cover the questions at the end of the presentation. And you can change your viewing settings under that view options menu. And you could move the presenter participant screens around if you need to, just to make it easier for you to see. Also to let you know that this webinar is being recorded, and this is the website that will be posted on. It usually takes us about a day or two to get it up on this website. And at some point during the presentation, I will copy and paste this link into the chat so it's easier for you to access. And again, as I mentioned earlier, please use the chat feature to ask questions. You can type those directly in, and again, we will cover those at the end of the presentation. And our presenter this week is Mr. Octavio Franco. He is the Southeast Region, DEP Southeast Region Clean Boating Coordinator in the DEP Office of Resilience and Coastal Protection. So Octavio provides assistance with preparing resiliency plans for marinas and boat yards and boat retailers to strengthen their ability to withstand disasters, whether that be natural or man-made, and helps conduct site visits at boating facilities, providing technical support and compliance assistance for the things you're going to learn today in the Clean Marina and Clean Vessel Act programs. And so we're very, very happy to have Octavio on board, especially with Florida Sea Grant, trying to strengthen that relationship between Sea Grant and this program. So with that, I'm very glad to introduce to you Mr. Octavio Franco. And I'm going to go ahead and stop sharing, Octavio, and you can go ahead and share your screen.
Share my screen. All right. Well, hello, everyone. Thank you, Vincent, for that introduction. I'm happy to be here also. I really appreciate you inviting me. As Vincent said, my name is Octavio Franco. I'm with the Florida Department of Environmental Protection, Office of Resilience and Coastal Protection, with the Clean Boating Program. And basically what I want to talk to you about today is clean boating habits. But before that, I just want to familiarize you with our clean boating programs that enables us to basically reach out to boaters and educate them about such on clean boating habits. The clean boating programs include the Clean Vessel Act for pump outs, Clean Boater, Clean Marina, Clean Boat Yard, Clean Marine Retailer, and our clean boating partnerships. I'm going to focus mostly on the Clean Marina and Clean Boater and CVA. All our programs are non-regulatory and voluntary. The Florida Clean Marina program is a true partnership between industry and government and is designated to benefit both marine and freshwater. Ties together facilities between boaters and the environment, all to prevent, prepare, and maintain clean waters. These are basically a list of all our partnerships with other organizations, state agencies, and also not-for-profit. Obviously, the Coast Guard and Sea Grant. One of our partnerships that focuses mainly on the Southeast Florida is the CFAN. It's the Southeast Florida Action Network, which basically we encourage our boaters to report, any incidents such as fish kill, anchor damage, vessel groundings, any such incident that's detrimental to our waters. Like I said, it focuses mostly on the Coral Reef Tract on the Southeast region, all the way up from Martin County down to the Keys, but mostly Miami-Dade and Martin, between Miami-Dade and Martin. We do have, CFAN does have a website and a phone number that we pass out while I go to site visits in all marinas and pass out to all boaters to be able to contact the CFAN, and they'll be able to take action, that necessary action that's needed to fix whatever incident, whatever problem. Overall, we just promote responsible boating, and we try to outreach and teach people to learn about and use environmentally safe products, obey laws, use pump outs whenever possible. I'm going to keep mentioning promoting pump out services as much as possible. That's one of our biggest messages that we have out there. And we encourage, we super encourage everyone to support marinas that are environmentally responsible. Most notably clean marinas. That's the actual designation. You mentioned one of the programs is a Clean Marina program, and these marinas basically meet a certain criteria, and they follow BMP's best management practices, which encourage their patrons to develop personal emergency plans. Emergency signage is posted throughout the facilities. Boaters are required to have current insurance. Basically, all management practices that benefit the environment and promote best boating practices for the boater. And again, if they encourage pump outs, if they themselves don't have a pump out, they point out the other marinas that do so. Sewage handling is a major part. Again, as I reiterated, I'm going to keep hammering away at pump out service and sewage handling, which these designated clean marinas are highly responsible for. Another aspect of that would be managing fish waste. That's one of the criteria that these clean marinas go above and beyond besides a regular marina, as opposed to a regular marina. Also caring for sensitive habitat and wildlife in the area. Now, I'm sorry, I also have to apologize. I kind of have so much information that I'm going to run through a lot of these. I'm not going to go point by point. But at the end, we do encourage questions. So please, if you have any, please, don't hesitate to write them in the chats. Another big aspect of the Clean Marina program is their ability to prepare for severe weather conditions. We try to prevent or minimize, at least, derelict vessels, any damage to property as much as possible. A sunken vessel could, leak all kinds of detrimental materials into the water. So having a preparedness plan is detrimental, is super, super important to our program. We do this, like I mentioned before, through outreach programs. We visit, we do hold workshops in our regions. Each boating coordinator is more than happy to conduct a workshop either online or in person. And we go over this, all the materials that I'm going through with you today, and try to tailor it to your specific region. Now, in order to get designated as a clean marina, we have certain criteria that these facilities, have to adhere to, mostly in 3 areas: environmental management, environmental quality, and environmental services, in order to get designated as a clean marina. But we also have a clean and resilient marina, which is a designation right above a clean marina. And basically, a clean and resilient marina. Resilience is defined as the capacity of human and natural physical systems to adapt and to recover from change. That could be environmental and also physically, meaning the business itself could be up and running again as soon as possible. Now, on top of the 3 criteria that we require, management, quality, and services, there are also resilient components that these marinas will have to meet. Better emergency planning, evacuation procedures, their design, their siting, floating docks, such as floating docks, concrete docks, removable docks, waste containment. All these actually contribute to a resilient marina, which is above and beyond just a clean marina. Also natural environment, such as a marina built into an environment that's shielded by natural barriers, or natural shoreline, which kind of minimize the wave action and the energy of waves, which causing any damage during the inclement weather or storm. Also, the marina itself going above and beyond by using their assets to help the surrounding waters, such as using their pump out vessels to go outside of their property and mooring fields and just, offer pump outs for free, or even, if not free, just minimal charge to them to recoup their costs. Now that you're familiar with, the programs themselves, I want to get into a clean boating habits that enables us to, everyone to maintain our waters clean and free of debris and chemicals and such. We've developed these habits throughout the years in partnership with other clean boating programs from other states also. So starting with the proper vessel cleaning, it's a fact that many products used to wash hulls and decks often contain ingredients such as chlorine, phosphates, ammonia that are toxic to fish and harmful to the environment. So our goal is to use cleaning methods and cleaners that eliminate the risk and hazards to aquatic life and environment. So what we suggest is, clean your boat on the upland and use spray nozzles to conserve water. Use phosphate-free, biodegradable, and non-toxic cleaners. Wax boats, a coat of wax prevents surface dirt from becoming ingrained, or just plain old-fashioned elbow grease goes a long way to try to eliminate using cleaners as much as possible. A good way to determine whether or not a cleaner is environmentally safe, there are third-party organizations that list these products. They don't necessarily sell them, but they'll endorse it. They have a program to endorse these products, such as the EPA's Safer Choice Product program. We highly, highly recommend that you use them. The Green Seal and Ecologo organizations provide the same thing. Another alternative would be to use everyday run-of-the-mill household products, for in place of harsh chemicals. For instance, an all-purpose cleaner could be replaced with mixing 1 cup of white vinegar with 2 gallons of water, and it'll do the same job, if not better sometimes. So we highly suggest to even use that, again, along with elbow grease. Now, another aspect of another habit of clean boating habit will be proper fueling techniques. It's a fact that a single gallon of fuel can contaminate 750,000 gallons of water. The cumulative effect of multiple small spills have a serious impact on our environment. So our goal is to reduce petroleum-based pollution in Florida's surface waters to maintain a healthy, beautiful environment. So we suggest to fuel your boat on the upland just before leaving on a trip, and fill portable tanks ashore to reduce spillage and make cleaning easier. Always keep your hand on the nozzle, and do not use the handle. And do not use a handle to stop, on the stop position rather. Do not drop off your tank. Do not top off your tank. Instead, fill up to 90% capacity. So if you're going on a ramp to try to lower your boat in the water doesn't, the fuel doesn't spill over into the water. Use a vent collecting device to capture escaping fuel and absorbent materials to catch drip. Your facility will hopefully have spill kits, diapers, and such are at the ready to pick up anything that might have gone over. Another clean boating habit, is controlling bilge oil spillage. It's a fact, like fuel, oil pollution can have serious impacts on the natural environment and our natural resources. So our goal is to reduce petroleum-based pollution in Florida's surface waters to maintain a healthy and beautiful environment. So controlling bilge oil spillage, we suggest that place oil-absorbent materials or bioremediating bilge socks in the bilge to prevent oil leakage into waters, then replace those socks and clean bilge regularly. Do not use detergents either. Keep your engine properly tuned and maintained by checking seals, gaskets, hoses, connections, fittings, and places, and basic maintenance. Also, before pumping bilge water, use water oil separators or absorbents to soak up any loose oil. Trailer your boat to an area that provides containment for bilges and boat plug discharges. Never discharge bilge water with a sheen. It's illegal. Okay. Another clean boating habit is being aware of exotic plants and wildlife. It's a fact that exotic plants and wildlife such as hydrilla, white hyacinths, and zebra mussels that become attached to vessels and trailers can accidentally be introduced into new waterways. Once introduced, exotic plants and wildlife are difficult and expensive to control and eradicate. The exotic species contribute to degradation of water quality and impact native fish and wildlife by outcompeting them for food and sunlight. Our goal is to prevent the introduction of exotic plants and wildlife into Florida's unspoiled waters, i.e. lionfish, for instance. So what we suggest is always check bilges, live wells, and trailers at ramps to minimize the spread of exotics. Bilges and wells should be emptied and treated for larvae and spore removal. Do not chop vegetation or propellers. This causes it to spread to other areas. Remove all plant fragments from trailers, props, bait wells, fishing tackle, dive gears, and other equipment for disposal in upland facilities or receptacles. Flush raw water cooling systems and clean sea strainers before launching boats trailered or motored from other states or nations. Dispose of waste in properly sealed containers. Another clean boating habit is to be aware of sensitive habits and wildlife. The fact is that poor boating habits can have lasting impacts on the health and safety of aquatic plants and animals. Manatees, dolphins, and sea turtles are especially susceptible to impacts from boat propellers. Wake and waste thrown over the side These marine inhabitants move slowly through our waters and are large draws for Florida the Florida ecotourism industry. Two components of Florida designations as the fishing capital of the world are seagrass and mangroves. Both serve as food sources, refuge, and nursery habitats for a variety of marine life, including juvenile fish that one day draw anglers from around the world. Now, our goal is to preserve and protect Florida's native vegetation and wildlife. And how do we do that? Well, read and follow navigational charts and markers to avoid sensitive areas. Avoid known areas of seagrass beds, sandbars, and shoals. Observe and obey all signs. Known areas of seagrass and manatee high traffic areas are often marked with no trespassing or no wake zones. Do not use propellers to chop aquatic vegetation. Dead vegetation sinks to the bottom of the water column where it degrades and lowers the oxygen levels needed for aquatic wildlife. Read the water. A grassy bed may appear as a large dark area under the water. If you run onto the grass bed or sandbar, stop immediately and tilt your engine. Use a push pole, paddle, or walk your boat out of the area. Do not harass the wildlife. Maintain a safe distance. And look, but don't touch. Report manatee and sea turtles, injured manatees and dolphins and sea turtles, deaths, tag sightings, or harassment to the FWC. Another clean boating habit would be to prepare for severe weather, as we mentioned before. Your facility, your marina should be on top of that, but you as a boater have your responsibilities also. The fact is that high winds and water levels during a hurricane or tropical storm can cause the release of normally secure pollutants into the environment. Those often sink, releasing fuels and oils and other chemicals into the environment. Our goal is to eliminate sources of pollution from areas that may be affected by storms. So we suggest you do is develop a severe weather preparedness plan and ask your marina for a site-specific preparedness plan. Like, what do they do normally to prepare for a hurricane or a severe weather incident? Remove portable containers of paint, fuel, oils, and cleaners, either properly dispose of or store securely. If possible and safe, remove boats from the water. If not possible, move vessels out of slips and into an open or highly protected waters. Remove or secure loose gear and equipment. If possible, remove portable marine sanitation device. Secure your boats. If you don't know how, your facility should have a inclement weather plan to show you how to do so. Secure all hatches, doorways, and windows to prevent water intrusion. Mooring fields. It's a fact that Florida has a wide range of aquatic environments. However, anchoring in the wrong area can have a negative impact by damaging seagrass, coral colonies, and other fragile elements in ecosystems. So our goal is, when possible, we use managed mooring areas to minimize or eliminate damage for the marine flora environment. So basically, you would ensure your vessel is compliant with all U.S. Coast Guard, FWC, local laws and regulations. Observe no anchoring, idle speed, no wake zone signs. Evaluate mooring fields and anchorages in the event of severe weather. And when possible, use marina-provided mooring balls. If you must drop anchor, know the bottom layout. Another aspect I mentioned earlier was managing fish waste. It's a fact that improper disposal of fish waste into marina waters can severely impact the fisheries we enjoy. Besides being an eyesore, large amounts of decomposing fish waste can lead to decreased oxygen in the water, harming the fish, crabs, and so on and so forth. Throwing fish waste into the water can also create safety hazards for both wildlife and people. Our goal is to practice sound fish waste management through responsible cleaning and waste disposal. And by that, we mean dispose of unneeded bait away from marinas, rivers, or basins. Ideally, dispose of fish waste or bait offshore. Where allowable by law, gut fish and dispose of waste while still offshore. Learn which game fish cannot be filleted until return to the dock. So a little bit of education is required for that. So save, freeze, and reuse fish waste as bait or chum for your next trip. So basically no fish, no waste, no harm. Managing hazardous waste. It's a fact that hazardous waste poses a threat to the environment if it is improperly disposed of into the water, air, or ground. So our goal is to eliminate use of generation of hazardous materials and dispose of properly. So we suggest using alternatives to hazardous waste, such as replacing regular paint with those that have lower volatile organic compound or are solvent-free. Place ignitable paint waste and old unused fuels and closed containers that the vapors do not escape into the air and create human health issues or explosive risk. Disposal should be a last resort. Try to recycle. I mean, use leftover chemicals or paint by asking around to see if someone else needs it, basically. Managing solid waste. It's a fact that Florida's waterways and coastals are a primary reason why people choose to live and travel here. Trash in the water is unsightly and often injures or kills sea life. So our goal is to manage and dispose of all waste properly to keep our waters clean, obviously. So managing solid waste, a lot of it is common sense, basically. Properly stow all loose items, plastic bags, drinks, cans, and other articles so they do not blow overboard. Carry a trash bag and never throw your trash overboard. Do not throw cigarette butts overboard. They contain plastic, cellulose, acetate. Place them in sealed containers for proper disposal later. Buy product without plastic or excessive packaging. If necessary, break apart plastic six-pack holders. Dispose of used fishing line and tackle in appropriate containers. Again, just basic common sense practices. Managing sewage. Fact that raw sewage is unsightly, fouls out water, and can have serious impact on aquatic life and human health. So our goal is to use pump out facilities and waste dump receptacles to reduce or eliminate sewage in our waters. Never discharge raw sewage. Always use marina pump out stations and rinse holding tanks regularly. Use approved marine sanitation device when underway. On small boats, use portable toilets and dispose of your waste properly at the dock or ramp. When in the marina, use the facility's restrooms and showers. Use enzyme-based products in your holding tanks instead of deodorizers and disinfectants. Protect yourself with proper PPE, gloves and goggles when servicing your marine sanitation devices. And encourage marinas to install pump out stations through CVA funding. Now that gets us into what is a CVA, which is a Clean Vessel Act funding. The Clean Vessel Act was established in 1992 to provide financial aid for pump out and dump stations for marinas to actually build them into their facilities, and provides educational information to boaters, such as what I'm doing now, in accordance with the Marine Sanitation Statute of Florida, Chapter 327. And Florida Statute 327 was established in 1994. It was titled Marine Sanitations, and which states that boaters are prohibited from discharging raw sewage into fresh water or within coastal saltwater limits. Those limits are 9 nautical miles from the Gulf side and 3 nautical miles from the Atlantic side. But there's such thing as no discharge zone, where no discharge at all is allowed, and mostly those are in 3 areas, which is Destin Harbor, the City of Key West waters, and the state waters within the Florida Keys National Sanctuary. Within the statute also states that all vessels while in Florida waters shall set or secure their Y valve to prevent discharge of raw sewage. On vessels greater than 26 feet, other than a household load, the toilet may be portable or permanently installed. Now, marine sanitation devices in no discharge zones, they must be the boat must have at least a Type 3 MSD, and the Y valve must be disabled. This includes gray water, which is galley water, and shower water also. Now, the other types, just so you know, it's of MSDs, marine sanitation device, are Type 1, Installing vessel plumbing. It's installed in the vessel plumbing as a free flow system that macerates sewage to no visible solids. These are for vessels 65 feet and up. The next type is type 2. It's a free flowing system that macerates sewage to no visible solids also. These are for vessels over 65 feet. And I'm sorry, the type 1 was up to 65 feet. So below 65 feet, and type 2 is above 65 feet. And of course, the type 3, which is basically a holding tank. Now, who enforces pump outs and MSD? The U.S. Coast Guard, the FWC, and the local sheriff's office. Now, Florida CVA grant program. It's Florida Marina facility. We highly encourage them to apply for grant funding. So anyone out there that's actually a facility manager or owner, you can contact us, and we'll be glad to talk to you about the program itself. And if you're a boater, we encourage you to talk to your marinas themselves and tell them about our program and contact us about it. You'll know if the facility has a CVA funded pump out system, because they have to have a 3x4 universal pump out logo and an informational placard to inform its patrons about the funding, and also provide instructions on how to use the system. These are just examples of a stationary system. That basically all the way to the left, you'll see a square housing of the pump, usually not visible to the human eye. It's just they're usually enclosed in these systems, and usually a button next to it to operate it. But there's also connectors up and down slips that you see all the way to the far right that you connect with the hose in the middle. Usually a portable hose that goes from slip to slip. There are also, these are examples of a vessel, of pump out vessels that go around from, slip to slip around the marina, and also portable pump out units. They usually carry them on small golf carts. So you get familiarized yourself with what they look like. You can also go to our website. We do have a GIS map of all the facilities that are clean marinas throughout the state. This is an example of a zoomed in area, the West Palm Beach, the Lake Worth Lagoon area, contains the clean marinas, and the ones with the red dot are the ones that contain stationary pump outs or other type of pump outs. Again, that's on our website. You can check it out. I'll have the information at the end of the slide, so you can look at where to contact us or where to go with that information. Now, these are stats just to give you the kind of scale of how much, because you might say to yourself, I'm only one person. What can I do? One person, amongst millions. Nearly 1 million recreational vessels that are registered in Florida since 2019. 400,000 visiting vessels a year, snowbirds and such, or anybody else. And the counties with the highest vessel concentrations, 30,000 plus: Brevard, Broward, Dade, Hillsborough, Lee, Orange, Palm Beach, and Pinellas. Mostly are highly susceptible to environmental damage due to negligent boating. Our program so far, we're trying to win this fight against environmental degradation. So far, we've got 313 clean marinas, 46 clean boat yards, 20 clean retailers, and 20 clean and resilient marinas. And we funded about 575 pump out projects. All in all, so far we've collected over 32 million gallons of sewage. Thousands of clean boaters are. Now, we highly encourage you to take the pledge and help us keep our waters clean by becoming a clean boater and helping to promote all these practices I just mentioned today. And if you're interested, like I said earlier, about these programs, you could visit our websites at floridadep.gov//clean marina. And it contains all the information that I went through today. I thank you, and this is my contact information. I appreciate you having me and listening to me today. Thank you.
All right, Octavio, thank you so much. So while you were speaking, I did post some information, some links. You can take a look at that. And Lisa is putting up an evaluation. So if everybody who's here, if you would all please fill that out, and that helps our program overall in providing this kind of information to you. So we'd appreciate that. Octavio, I have one question. You mentioned the map, the interactive map that shows where clean marinas and participants in clean boating programs are. What is the, do you have that link handy, by the way? I had a little bit of trouble finding that.
If you go to floridadep.gov /clean marina, you have to wait a little bit to get to it. I can forward you the exact link after I'm done with this. I have to actually find it, log off of this and find it. So
okay, let me see. I might be able to find it real quick. And there is it the link that's designated clean? Oh, there's a Find Clean Marina link. Is that the link to the map?
That has also our clean marinas on there too. Hold on 1 second. Let me see if I would have to go there and navigate to it actually.
I can put that link in the chat for everybody that's here.
Sure.
And then I will see if I could find that map real quick, because I have used that. It's actually very helpful. But I forgot to bookmark that on my web bookmarks. Let me see if there's any other questions in the chat. Let me see. I'm not seeing anything right now, but there's a new message here. Oh, Brenda, thank you, Brenda, for posting that. That's the link to the Clean Marina map. So I'm gonna go ahead and open that myself. We do, I forgot to mention this in my intro, but we do have some upcoming Water Ambassador webinars. On April 20th is our next one, and we're going to talk about stormwater plantings. And then May 4th, there'll be a discussion about the Indian River Lagoon project and C44 reservoir. So that has some local interests. And thank you. There's a comment from Brenda. We have worked on an updated layer that will replace this map very soon. So just keep that in mind when you use this link, this map link, to locate a clean marina. I am actually, and thanks to Octavio from Brenda for helping with the data set for that. All right. So Octavio, what is the way that marinas can get involved in getting designated? You would schedule, they would contact you and they would schedule a site visit and inspection. Is that typically how that works?
Right. Well, I don't like to call it an inspection because that sounds kind of
sure. Yeah, you're right. I hesitated on using that word myself. So.
We like to call it kind of advisory visit, site visit, where we recommend certain, changes if needed. Most marina managers have experience managing marinas. We have put together and updated recently our best management practices actually, that kind of enhance already, how do you say, management practices, that they've already been doing for a while. After that, we encourage, again, highly encourage them to apply for the clean vessel funding to install a pump out system if they don't already have one, or even update their pump systems. They might be old and might need a new one. And we also encourage them to, provide workshops for their boaters. We provide our services for free, so long as they provide a venue, and I'll just take my, slide deck and go present it at the facility, whenever at their most convenient time for them.
Cool. So, well, hopefully that's something we can do in the near future. Hopefully near than far, as far as But we're very thankful that you're able to deliver this information in this webinar format, and I think we'll get a lot of mileage out of the recording as well.
I hope so.
Yeah, and so I just had a question, and that came to mind, and now I think I just lost it. So it'll come back. It'll come back to me. Yeah, and that map is on that link. You just have to scroll down a little bit more to get to that. Let me see. I'll mute myself for a second, and then if I can think of it, I'll come back to it.
Again, I do apologize. I had to rush through that because I had about 70 slides and I kind of whittled it down to like 54. And I wasn't sure if we were going to get through all of them within the allotted time. So now, if you have any more questions, now I could relax and answer them better if I went over something too quickly.
Cool. Octavio, I did, now I remember what I wanted to ask about that CVA grant. Is that just people can apply for that anytime, or is there like a application period with a deadline?
No, it's a rolling.
It's a rolling. Okay.
Yeah, facilities could apply for it, and Brenda Leonard is in charge of the program. We do fund up to 75% of the project, of the facilities cost of the project, and also operational costs afterwards. There are stipulations to that, so I highly recommend you contact us for that information. You could apply through the Florida, our website. Again, if you go to the floridadep.gov link, has the application and the link to the management application system of Florida. I forgot the exact name of it, but you could also do it online, put it that way.
Okay.
Yeah,
great.
Try to make it as simple as possible.
Yeah. And to go back to, your emphasis on pump outs, for Martin County specifically, the county offers a free pump out service, and I put the link in the chat there. Let me just go back to that really quick, just so if you look in the chat, it's one of the first ones I put in there. It's their pump out program is MS Poop. So very catchy name there. And so that's a free service for pump outs. And I'm not sure if they are a CVA grant recipient, but that's a good thing for Martin County boaters to know about. A lot of people might not realize that. I think somebody.
Hi, this is Brenda. I wanted to add a few things. Martin County did receive funding to purchase 2 pump out vessels a few years ago. And they've replaced them now with CVA funding, and they do a great job pumping out all around the county at no charge. So they're one
Yeah,
of our models.
yeah, that's an amazing service. Brenda, are there other counties or municipalities that offer similar a similar type of service?
Yes, and it's growing. Monroe County has a county-wide project. They had a vendor doing the entire county for years. Then that contract ended, and now they are working to get several pump out businesses to service different sections of the Keys. So we have an application in-house right now that wants to get a couple vessels. And then City of Key West has some vessels and a few others splashed around in the Keys. So we're encouraging the vessels and for them to service the boating waterways, especially anchorages.
Right.
So the city of Fort Lauderdale has gotten a vessel, and they've got operations funding, and they're doing the same thing, and they're partnering. And there's another business, Point Man Services, just got a small grant, just about 30,000 to help with some operations. He's got his own vessel, and he'll be expanding that. So they're partnering big time down in the city of Fort Lauderdale, expanding and creating partnerships. And that's where it really rubber meets the road.
Awesome.
Get people on the same page, working for the same goals.
Cool. Cool. Yeah. Hopefully we'll see that grow even more throughout the state. Cool. Thank you. Thanks for that extra information. Well, let's see if there's any more questions or comments. I see one new one here. Oh, that's the link from
I put
Brenda.
the TVA grant application link. It gives a lot of information. And I encourage folks to call. They can call me too if they want to talk about bigger projects or anything that's over and above questions, anything like that.
Brenda, could you put your contact information
Mhm.
in the chat? And Octavia, would you mind doing that as well?
Let me
Sure.
just put my signature.
And I do believe that your contact informations were in your presentation as well. Is that correct?
Yes,
Octavia?
yes.
Okay.
Javio's
So-
was.
Okay. Great. So anybody who reviews that or views that again or views that for the first
Well,
time, they'll get that. So.
I hit enter without finishing it.
Oh, it's
I'm
very
not able
sensitive.
to cut and paste my signature in there.